What?
Oh my God. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. You can hear my voice, right? Okay, so I just sharing my screen. Everything is all right. So let's start our class. As you can see, okay, last time we talked about the production function. In order to produce something in the economy, you need K and L, right? K for the capital, like a machine, L for the labor, right? We have the production function equation, okay? Y equal to function of K and L, okay? So today we're gonna learn more, okay, about the role of labor and capital, okay? So as you can see here, I have the table, okay, the table of labor. We have L for labor and we have Y for output, okay? This table going to show you the relationship between labor and output. Let me write down here, L for labor and Y for output. You can imagine that it is like the situation in the, let's say in the factory, okay? If you don't have any labor, okay, even though you have a machine, even though you have a robot, even though you have the factory, however, if you don't have any, if you have a machine, you have the factory, okay, if you don't have any labor, if labor equal to zero, okay, it means that nobody gonna produce, okay, the product for you. The output is gonna be equal to zero, okay, no labor, no output, okay. However, if you adding one more labor into the factory from 0 to 1, when you adding one labor into the factory, what does it mean? They can work. He or she can work, okay, can work for you. You can produce more from 0 to 10, okay. As you can see, you're adding one labor into the factory, okay. You can produce more from 0 to 10, okay. And number 10 is going to showing in the column, the row, the column of MPL. Okay, MPL is come from marginal, okay, product. Okay, marginal product of labor. Okay, for the mathematics. Okay, for the mathematics, MPL equal to delta Y over delta L. Okay, this is a mathematical formula. Okay, delta Y over delta L is mean that delta is mean changing. Okay, delta is mean changing. If you're changing the number of labor, how you gonna change the number of output? In this case, mean that if you're adding the number of labor into your factory, how many output you can produce more. Okay, so you see that in this case, if you adding one labor into the economy, okay, no, into the factory, sorry. Okay, if you adding one labor into the factory from 0 to 1, you can produce 10 unit more. So that's why MPL equal to 10. Okay, if you still adding one labor into the factory from 1 to 2, you can produce more from 10 to 19. Okay, you can produce 9 unit more. Okay, this is what you have. Okay, for MPL 10 and 9. If you adding one labor into the factory from 2 to 3, you can produce 8 unit more. Okay, if you adding one labor into the factory from 3 to 4, you can producing 7 unit more. Okay, you can see that from the number of the table. Okay, the more you add labor into the factory, the more output you can produce. However, the very first number of labor is can help you to produce a lot, 10 units. Later on, the number of output that you can increasing, that you can produce more, become lower over time from 10 to 9 to 8 to 7. Okay, the number of marginal product of labor that decreasing, okay, over time. We call it as a law of diminishing return. Okay, law of diminishing return. In econ, okay, in econ, we using the concept of diminishing return in many places. Okay, for example, okay, here in macro, okay, the more you adding labor into the factory, the more product you can produce. However, the product that you can produce more is become decreasing over time. Okay, in micro, we also use the concept of diminishing. Okay, same. Okay, like the idea of the utility. Okay, the first cup of the coffee or the first dish of your food, you feel very good, you feel very happy, right? Utility increasing a lot. However, the second cup of the coffee, your utility or your happiness increasing, still increasing, but increasing lower than the first one. When you're drinking the third cup of the coffee, okay, you are happy. Okay, utility increasing but lower than the first and the second cups. Okay, this is what we call law of diminishing. Okay, so what's so good? So by using the number in the table here, we can draw the graph. Okay, we can draw the graph. The first one, we call it as production function graph. Okay, production function graph. Okay, it's gonna be look like this. Wait a minute. Okay, they have the vertical axis like this, horizontal axis like this. Okay, on the horizontal you have L, on the vertical you have Y. Okay, and as you can see here, by plotting the number between L and Y, okay, as you can see, the more labor you have, the more product you can produce. Okay, the curve is gonna be going up like this. Wait a minute. Okay, the curve is gonna be going up like this. Yeah, this is a production function, which is come from Y equal to function of K and L. But in this case, we're gonna fix the number of K. We just focusing on the relationship between Y and L. Okay, they have the curve like this because they have a diminishing, they have the law of diminishing. For example, from point A to point B, okay, to point Z. Okay, point A, you have low number of labor, you can produce less. Okay, just Y1. Okay, moving from point A to point B, you're adding one labor into the economy from L1 to L2, you can produce more a lot. The gaps here is very high. However, you keep adding one labor into the economy from B to C, from L1 to L3. This time you can produce more, but the gaps become smaller. Okay, the gaps become smaller here. The gaps here become smaller. The first unit of the labor that you adding into the economy is can produce, it can help you produce more a lot. But the second unit, you know, you can increasing your production, but it's smaller than the first one. This is come from law of diminishing returns. Okay. And then, okay, next one, they're going to use the number in the table about marginal product of labor, okay, MPL, to draw the graph. Okay, here the graph is going to be look like this. On the horizontal, it's going to be L. On the vertical, it's going to be MPL. Okay. If you go back to the table, you can see that the first column you have L, the last column you have MPL. The number of L keep increasing. The number of MPL starting with 10 and it's going down to 9 to 8 to 7 to 6, going down because of we have law of diminishing returns. Okay, so I just plot the number down. Then here, this is what you get, MPL. Okay, you get the curve like this. MPL always have a negative slope going down, okay? Because it's showing the relationship between MPL and L. For example, point A, point B, point C, point D. Okay, point A, if you have one number of labor, MPL is 10 from the table. Point B, okay, you're adding more labor into the economy from 1 to 2. You have the law of diminishing returns, marginal product of labor reducing to 9, okay, and then you're adding one labor into the economy, okay. This labor can help you to produce 8 units more, okay, MPL equal to 8. And moving to point D, you're adding one labor into the economy from 3 to 4, okay. This guy can help you to produce 7 units more, okay, MPL equal to 7. You use the number on the table to plot the graph, you got the curve of MPL, okay. So very easy like that, okay. Come back to the table again, okay, come back to the table again, L, Y, and MPL. This time, if I told you that, okay, if the real wage equal to 7, okay, if the real wage equal to 7, you learned it before last time. We have nominal wage and we have real wage, remember? Nominal wage, you're working for the whole day, how much money you get? Real wage, you're working for the whole day, you got some money, how the money that you get can buy the product, okay? So the real wage is the unit of the product that you can buy, okay, from your, from the money that you get from your work, okay? You're working for the whole day, you got some money, you use that money to buy some product, okay? This one's gonna show you how many products you can buy after working for the whole day, okay? So for the real wage, number seven is in the unit of the product that you can buy. If the real wage is equal to 7, it means that you're working for the whole day, you can buy 7 meals, 7 coffee or something like that, okay? So if the real wage equal to 7, the question is, okay, if you are firms, the producer, how many labor firms gonna hire? Okay, how many labor firms gonna hire if the real wage equal to 7? Okay, if the real wage equal to 7, how many labor firms gonna hire? Okay, so normally firms or the producer, before they're gonna make a decision on how many labor they're gonna hire, they're gonna compare between benefit and cost. Okay, they're gonna compare between benefit and cost. Benefit of hiring the labor and the cost of hiring the labor. Okay, starting with labor number 1. Okay, labor number 1. Of course, if you don't have any labor, if you don't hire any labor, you can produce nothing. Okay, if you don't hire any labor, you can produce nothing. So if you produce, if you hire one labor, okay, one labor into your factory from 0 to 1. Okay, when you hire the first labor from 0 to 1, it can help you produce 10 units more. Okay, so 10 units here, this is a benefit to having the first labor. Okay, 10. Okay, 10. Number 10 is going to be the benefit. Okay, because if you're hiring the first labor, he can help you to produce 10 units more. Okay, how about the cost? When you're hiring the labor, you need to pay them a wage, real wage. In this case, real wage equal to 7. Okay, 7. Okay, if labor working for the whole day, you need to pay them the money that can buy the product around 7 units. Okay, so the benefit is you having the first labor, you got a benefit because they can help you to produce 10 units of the product more, but you need to pay the real wage for 7 units. Okay, so you can see that 10 greater than 7. Hiring the first labor is a good idea. Okay, hiring the first labor is a good idea. Then how about hiring more? Okay, from 1 to 2. If I hiring one more labor from 1 to 2, okay, the labor number 2 can help me to produce 9 units more, right? 9 units more. This is a benefit I get. How about the cost? Okay, I need to pay the second labor for 7 units of the real wage. Still, benefits greater than cost. So hiring the second labor is a good idea. Okay. How about hiring the third labor? L equal to 3. Okay. If I hiring the third labor from 2 to 3, he can help me produce 8 units more. The benefit is 8. The cost, I need to pay them the real wage for 7. Still good, right? Benefit greater than cost. Hiring the third labor is a good idea. How about hiring the fourth labor? Is that good? Okay. If I hiring one more labor from 3 to 4, he can help me to produce 7 units more. Okay. 7 is my benefit. Okay. And then I need to pay for the cost. Okay. The real wage they need to pay equal to 7. As you can see here, benefit and cost equal. So it means that it's good, right? Because I didn't lose anything. Okay, I didn't lose anything, so it's still good to hire the fourth labor. Okay, so how about if I hiring more from 4 to 5, hiring the fifth labor from 4 to 5, they can help me to produce 6 units more. This time benefit is 6. However, the cost that I need to pay for the real wage is 7. This is not good. This is not a good idea. Hiring labor number 5. Okay, the benefit is less than cost, so I don't have I don't have incentive to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna keep hiring the labor. Okay, I'm gonna keep hiring the labor until the benefit equal to cost. You got it? I'm gonna keep hiring the labor until the benefit equal to cost. So the benefit comes from, as you can see here, 10, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7. All the benefit come from MPL. The cost come from real wage. Okay, so now I know the equilibrium point. Okay, normally firms gonna keep hiring the labor until marginal product of labor equal to real wage. Okay, this is how it's work. Okay, this is how it's work. So firms or the producer, okay, or the producer, they need, okay, to factor of the production, okay, from the production function y equal to function of k and l. In order to produce something, they need capital and labor, right? Because for the firms, they have a demands, okay, they have a demand for labor, and they have the demand for capital. Okay, so how many labor they're gonna hire? How many capital they're gonna lend? Okay, the way of thinking is the same. Okay, they're gonna hire the labor, okay, more and more. They're gonna hire the labor more and more until benefit, okay, equal to cost. Same thing with the capital. They're gonna keep lending the capital until the benefit equal to cost. Okay, in this case, the benefit of labor is MPL. The cost of the labor is the real wage. On the other hand, for the capital, the benefit of the capital is going to be MPK, marginal product of the capital, and the cost of the real rental labor. Okay, this is what I have. Okay, this is what I have. The point that, okay, the point that the firm gonna make a decision on how many labor and capital they want. Okay. Somebody type down the what? Student ID, name and last name, Ananya. Okay, so You know, in my class, we don't have attendance point. Okay. So I don't care whether you're going to come to the class or not. You don't need to type down your name and student ID in the chat. Okay. Because we don't have point for the attendance. Okay. So next one. Okay. So after you learn about that, okay, next one, I want to find the demand for labor curve. Okay. Let me write down here. I want to find the demand for labor. Okay, I want to plot the graph. Demand for labor, I'm gonna write down as a DL. Okay, as you know, normally firms gonna keep hiring the labor until the benefit equal to cost. Benefit is MPL equal to real wage as a cost. Okay, this is what I have. So normally what I'm gonna do is, okay, I'm gonna write down, this is the curve. Wait a minute, okay. This is MPL. I'm gonna write down MPL curve first. Okay, like this. This is MPL. Okay, I just bring it from here. Okay, just bring it from here. In order to find the demand for labor. Okay, in order to find the demand for labor. As you know here, demand for labor, the firm's gonna keep hiding the labor until MPL equal to W. Okay, so to find demand for labor, MPL is gonna be equal to W. Like this. So I'm gonna write down W in the vertical axis. Okay. So let's see. Point A, for example, point A. Okay, point A. If the real wage equal to 8, okay, if the real wage equal to 8, how many labor are gonna hire? Okay, if the real wage equal to 8, again, real wage equal to MPL, okay, real wage equal to 8, MPL equal to 8 is here. They're gonna hire 3 labor. Okay, L equal to 3. Moving from A to B, okay, if the real wage equal to, let's say 5, if real wage equal to 5, MPL equal to 5 is here, they're gonna hire 6 labor, L equal to 6. Okay, so now I can construct demand for labor. You got it? Demand for labor is actually come from MPL curve, just changing the vertical axis from MPL to W. Okay, and demand for labor always have a negative slope. You know, labor and any product is the same. Law of demand is, if something is expensive, you're gonna buy less. If something becomes cheaper, you're gonna buy more. This is a law of demand, right? Okay. When something is become more expensive, you buy less. When something becomes cheaper, you're gonna buy more. Same thing here for the labor market. Okay, for the labor demands. Okay, when the labor become more expensive, when the real wage is high, we're gonna hire less. When the real wage is low, labor is cheap, we're gonna hire more. Okay, same thing over here. So far so good. Okay, so then by using this idea, I'm gonna have demand. We're gonna have demand for labor and demand for capital. We can construct it. We can draw in the graph. Okay, here. On the horizontal is gonna be L. Vertical is gonna be price of labor, real wage. For the capital, horizontal is K. On the vertical is supply of capital, is a real rental rate. Demand for labor going down like this, come from MPL. Demand for capital, okay, going down like this, come from MPK. You got it? Both of them always have a negative slope. Okay, why? Because if you compare between point A and point B, point A and point B, just the same thing with the law of demand. If something expensive, you buy less. If something becomes cheap, you buy more. If labor become expensive, okay, real wage is high, you hire less at one. If labor become cheaper, real wage is low, you gonna hire more labor. Same thing with the capital. If the price of capital is high, real rental rate is high, you're gonna lend less number of capital, K1. If the capital become cheaper, the real rental rate become lower, you're gonna lend more capital from K1 to K2. Yeah, this is a simple, okay, law, simple demand for labor and demand for capital. Come from law of demands, okay, something like that, okay. Come back here. Okay, come back here for the case of labor. I'm going to show you the case of shift the curve. On the horizontal is L, on the vertical is real wage, small w. If I have demand for labor like this, come from MPL1. If I have point A, at point A, if real wage equal to W1, we're gonna hire L1 of the labor. As you can see, firms gonna hire more or less of the labor, depend on the benefit. Okay, the benefit come from MPL. Okay, you can imagine that if I have some question, wait a minute, in chat อ๋อโอเคครับออกแล้วเข้าใหม่ได้เลยครับตามสบายครับ you can imagine that if you know how to say firms are gonna hire more or less of the labor depending on the benefit, right? Okay, if I come back to this table, okay, if I come back to this table, remember firm gonna hire, you know, the benefit of the labor, the first unit of labor, the benefit is high, MPL is high, like a 10, and then it's reducing to 9 to 8 to 7 to 6. Firm gonna keep hiring the labor until benefit equal to cost. Okay, so you can see that the benefit it actually come from MPL. MPL on the other name, you can call it as a productivity of labor. Okay, MPL is like a productivity of the labor. Okay, if MPL increasing, it means that labor can produce more. Okay, you can check this one. Okay, if MPL increasing, let's say from 10 to 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, you can see that. Okay, if people how to say, if MPL is become increasing, it means that labor can help firm to produce more. What does it mean? If the real wage equal to 7, this time MPL is increasing, 7 is here, it means that firm gonna hire 6 labor. See that, 6 labor. Even though the real wage is still the same, but this time because of MPL increasing, MPL2. Okay, so firm willing to hire more labor compared to in the previous case that real wage equal to 7, they're gonna hire only 4. Okay, they're gonna hire only 4. So right now they're gonna hire more. Okay, from 4 to 6. Okay, because of labor become more productivity. Okay, so come back to the graph. If labor become more productivity, if marginal product of labor increasing, the demand for labor curve gonna shift to the right. This is DL equal to L MPL2. Okay, from A to B. Real wage still the same, but right now firm want to hire more labor because firm become because labor become more productivity. MPL2 greater than MPL1. Okay, productivity of labor increasing. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, that's it. Okay, so this is for the labor. Okay, the capital, same story. Okay, the capital is going to be same story. If capital become more productivity, MPK increasing, demand for capital is going to shift to the right in the same way. Okay, and then, okay, next one, we're going to talk about how about supply curve. Okay, supply curve. Next one, we're going to talk about supply curve. Okay, supply curve is mean who gonna provide the labor and the capital. Okay, so let's see, first one, labor on the left and capital on the right. Okay, yeah, okay, this is LOW KO small r. Okay, the supply, for the supply curve, they're gonna have the positive slope like this. Okay, going up to the right, this supply for labor, this is supply for capital. Okay, going up to the right. Okay, For the supply curve, okay, is come from household sector. Okay, household sector. Okay, I mean everyone willing to sell the labor, right? We are household. We want to sell the labor. That's why you come to the university. You want to get a very high education because you want to go to work, right? You go to work because you want to earn the money. Okay, same thing. Someone come from the rich family, right? They have many cars, they have many houses, they can lend the car, they can lend all of the capital they have, okay, for the money. Okay, so the household is a supply side of the labor and the capital. Okay, so the supply curve, same thing with a lot of supply. Labor and capital is we can consider it in the same way with the other product. For the other product, for example, for the normal product, when the price of the product is cheap, people want to sell less. When the price of the product become more expensive, people want to sell more, right? This is a law of supply. Can I see the previous two slides, please? Okay. Yes, of course. Here, can you see it? Good. Do you have the question? Okay. You don't need to take a note, because I write down in the PowerPoint. By the end of the class, I'm gonna post the PowerPoint file for you. Okay. Are you all right? Good. Okay. Then come back here. Okay. For the supply, okay, same thing with the other product. Okay, when the price of the labor is cheap, okay, point A. If the real wage is low, nobody want to work. The number of labor who want to work is very low, L1. Moving from point A to point B, when the real wage become higher, W1 to W2, real wage become higher, the price of labor become higher. Everyone want to work more, right? We're gonna have more labor in the economy, L1 to L2. Same thing with the capital. Point A, if the rental rate is low, okay, the number of capital that people want to lend out is going to be very low. Okay, when the price of capital is low, nobody want to sell it, nobody want to lend it out. Okay, moving from point A to point B, when the capital become more expensive, the rental rate become higher from R1 to R2, everyone want to lend the capital out, okay, from K1 to K2. Okay, so this is the reason why supply always have a positive slope. Okay, so that's so good. Then after that, okay, we bring it together. We bring supply and demand together. Then here in this slide, we can construct labor market. We can construct labor market and capital market. Okay, just bring everything here. Labor market on the horizontal is going to be L for labor. And on the vertical is going to be small w for the real wage. And then, okay, we have demand for labor, DL, demand for labor come from MPL. We have supply for labor. We have equilibrium point. We have the equilibrium of the real wage, W star. We have the equilibrium of the number of labor, okay, L star, okay. So L star here, this is a number of labor in the economy, okay. L star is the number of labor in the economy. Come from the point that demand equal to supply, okay. Demand equal to supply. I have to note here that demand for labor comes from firms. Okay? Demand for labor comes from firms or business sector, because firm need the labor. Firm want to hire the labor to put in their factory, in the production. Who want to sell the labor? Okay, for the supply for labor is household. I write out as a HH, okay, household sector. Okay. Go to the capital market. On the horizontal is K for the capital. On the vertical is R, small r, for the real rental rate. Okay, we have demand for capital. That is come from MPK. We have supply for capital. We have equilibrium point. We have the equilibrium of the real rental rate, R star. We have the equilibrium of the number of capital in the economy, K star. So K star here, this is a number of capital in the economy. Okay. Same thing, demand for labor, the one who want to lend the no demand for capital, the one that who want to lend the capital is firms or business sector. The one who want to sell, okay, the capital, okay, supply for capital is of course household. Okay, so that's so good. So we done. Okay, so we done. Okay, we have labor market, we have capital market. Okay, so we done. Next one. Okay, so we coming back. Okay, we coming back. Okay, last time we talked about that in this class macro we really focus on GDP, and in macro GDP we're gonna use variable Y. Remember, so variable Y we're gonna have three main meaning. Okay, and the first meaning is Y equal to total output. Okay, the number of product and service that we can produce in our economy, and we learned it. Okay, we learned it already. Total output, in order to produce something you need a production function, Y equal to function of K and L. So we have the first equation. Okay, you already learned about this equation, you learn about MPL, MPK, you learn about labor market and labor capital. So this is done. Okay, for the first meaning of Y, this is done. Then right now we're gonna go to the second meaning of Y. Okay, the first meaning is total output, right? The second meaning is gonna be total income, and it's always equal to each other. The more you can produce, the more money you earn. You got it? The more you can produce, the more money you earn. Okay, so total income, this is what we're gonna focus right now. And don't forget that the third meaning is total spending. And all of the three meanings always equal to each other, because the more you can produce, the more money you earn. The more money you earn, the more money you can enjoy spending out. That's it. So let's see. Okay, now we're gonna focus on Y as a total income. Okay, focus on Y as a total income. So we're gonna construct the equation. Okay, total income equal to, okay, in the economy, remember, in the economy we have two factors of the production. We have labor and capital. So when you get the money, when you earn the money, total income is gonna be equal to labor income plus capital income. Okay, the number of money that you can make. Okay, we're gonna give it to labor and give it to the capital owner. Okay, so total income is gonna be Y, labor income is gonna be small w, real wage, multiplied by L, the number of labor. Capital income is gonna be small r, real rental rate, multiplied by K, the number of labor. Okay, so this is how we get it. Okay, and don't forget that for the real wage and the real rental rate. Okay, don't forget that the real wage and the real rental rate. Okay, normally firms gonna keep hiring the labor, gonna keep lending the capital until the benefit equal to cost. Okay, and the benefit is, for the labor, benefit is MPL, cost is small w. For the capital, benefit is MPK, cost is small r. Okay, just like that. So then I can simply replace small w with MPL. I can simply replace small r with MPK. So in the end, I got the equation like this. Small y equal to MPL multiplied by L plus MPK multiplied by K. This is what I want. That is what I want. So that's so good. And then next one, okay, after I got the equation for the total income, okay, so let me try to solve the equation for you. Okay, as I mentioned before, we have the production function like this. Y equal to function of K and L. In order to produce something, you need capital and labor. Okay. Now, right now, I'm going to give you the example of the equation. If the production equation have the equation of the Cobb-Douglas, okay, Cobb-Douglas is the name, okay, of the mathematician. Okay. So if they have the Cobb-Douglas equation, it's going to be look like this. Y equal to A multiplied by K powered by alpha multiplied by L powered by 1 minus alpha. This is what we call Cobb-Douglas production equation. Okay. You're going to learn more into the detail when you take the class of mathematics, economics, okay, math econ. Okay. So the equation, this equation y equal to A multiplied by K powered by alpha multiplied by L powered by 1 minus alpha. You see that A, K, and L is multiplied to each other. Let me give you more detail. A is actually represent the technology. Since A, K, and L multiply to each other, what does it mean? It means that if A increasing, if you have more technology, if your country have more technology, or if K increasing, your country have more machine, or L increasing, your country have more labor, okay? Some of them increasing, or maybe all of them increasing together. A, K, and L, they are all multiplied to each other. So in mathematics, it means that if the number of A, K, and L increasing together, it's gonna make Y to become increasing. If your country have more technology, have more machine, have more labor, your country can produce more. Okay, your country can produce more. Okay, this is the meaning of A, K, and L. How about alpha? How about alpha? Alpha is gonna be, let me write down here. Alpha is gonna be the number, any number that stay in the range of 0 and 1. Okay, alpha is gonna be any number between 0 and 1. So you can imagine that if alpha equal to 0.7, it means that the equation is gonna look like y equal to a k powered by 0.7, L powered by 0.3. In this case, alpha means, okay, for example, if alpha equal to 0.7, it means that this country, K powered by 0.7, it means that this country normally going to use K to produce the product around 70%. Okay, L powered by 0.3. So it means that normally this country, they use labor to produce the product around 30%. So alpha is actually the percentage of the capital that the country use in the production. Okay, if alpha is high, it means that the country using a lot of capital. If alpha is low, it means that the country using a lot of labor. Okay, in the term of production. So far so good. Okay, so come back to the equation. Okay, so let me solve the equation for you. Okay, as I mentioned before, okay, we have total income equal to labor income, okay, plus capital income. Okay, so we have Y equal to W multiplied by L plus R multiplied by K, like this. Okay, and because of firm gonna hiding the labor, lending the capital until the benefit equal to cost. Okay, so Y equal to MPL multiplied by L plus MPK multiplied by K. Okay, because of W equal to MPL, small r equal to MPK. So far so good. And after that, let me put down here. Okay, after that, let me find, okay, MPL and MPK. This guy and this guy. Okay, as I mentioned before, MPL equal to delta Y over delta L. Okay, when you're adding more labor into the factory, how many products you can produce more? Delta in the mathematics is derivative, okay? It's a differentiate. It's like a diff, okay? It's a calculus, let's say, okay? In this case, it's gonna be partial derivative curl y by curl L, okay? Partial derivative of y respect to L. From the Cobb-Douglas equation, y is ak alpha L1 minus alpha respect to L. When you do the partial derivative of this one, you focus on L. L is powered by 1 minus alpha. When you're doing mathematics, okay, this is you already learned in math 1 and math 2. What you get is you get 1 minus alpha ak alpha L minus alpha. Done. MPK equal to delta y over delta k, right? Which is going to be partial derivative of y respect to k, equal to partial derivative of y from the Cobb-Douglas equation equal to ak alpha L1 minus alpha, okay, over k. Right now we focus on k. When we do the calculus, okay, k powered by alpha, we bring alpha in front of the equation. We got alpha ak alpha minus 1 L 1 minus alpha. Done. Okay, we put everything we know into the main equation. So we get y equal to 1 minus alpha ak alpha L minus alpha and multiplied by L. Okay, and plus alpha ak alpha minus 1 L1 minus alpha multiplied by k. Okay, so for here you can see that we have L and L, we have k and k, we can combine together. When you combine the same variable together, you just put the power to be combined. Okay, you just combine the power of them together. Then what I get is in the end I get y equal to 1 minus alpha ak alpha L1 minus alpha plus alpha ak alpha L1 minus alpha. And for here, ak alpha, okay, L1 minus alpha, this guy and this guy is actually equal to y. They actually equal to y. So in the end, I get y equal to 1 minus alpha multiplied by y plus alpha y. This is what I want. Okay, this is what I want. So for here, y is total income. 1 minus alpha multiplied by y. This is the income for labor. The income for labor depends on 1 minus alpha. The income for capital depends on alpha. Okay, because the first term comes from labor income. The second term comes from capital income. Okay, so just simple mathematics. Next one. Okay, next one. From the Cobb-Douglas equation, y equal to ak alpha L1 minus alpha, like this. Okay, and as you know, alpha should be the value between 0 and 1. Okay, and then I'm solving the equation for you. Okay, total income equal to labor income plus capital income. Okay, and what I get is y equal to 1 minus alpha multiplied by y plus alpha y. Okay, labor income depend on 1 minus alpha. Capital income depend on alpha. Okay, so let me give you example. Example, if alpha equal to 0.3, okay, the main equation become y equal to ak powered by 0.3, L powered by 0.7. In this case, what does it mean? You can see that here. Okay, you see that in this case, L powered by 0.7, okay, K powered by only 0.3. In this case, means that your country, okay, when your country want to produce something, your country use a lot of labor. Normally, your country gonna use labor around 70%, use capital around only 30%. Okay, so your country is a labor intensive country. Okay, your labor is a your country is a labor intensive country. Okay, that's it. Okay, so if alpha equal to 0.3, your country using a lot of labor more than capital. So what does this mean for the income? Okay, your country alpha equal to 0.3 is going to be equal to 0.7y plus 0.3y. You see that if your country using a lot of labor, it means that most of the income in the country gonna go to labor. Okay, less of the income gonna go to capital. Okay. On the other example, if alpha equal to 0.7, the Kopdagras equation become a k powered by 0.7 L powered by 0.3. This one, your country using a lot of capital in order to produce something. Your country is a capital intensive country. When alpha equal to 0.7, okay, the equation of the total income, okay, is y equal to 0.7 equal to 0.3y plus 0.7y. Labor income become small, capital income become higher. You see that? So the income of the country gonna go to labor or capital depend on how your country, how the factor of the production your country gonna use. Okay, if your country using a lot of capital, of course, the money go to capital more. If your country using a lot of labor, of course, okay, the income of the country gonna go to labor more than capital. So let's see the real data. Okay, this is a ratio of labor income to the total income in US. Okay, during 1960 and 2010. Okay, this is the income of the country that go to labor. Okay, the income that go to labor is gonna be 1 minus alpha. Okay, so in this number, this is 1 minus alpha. Normally, for example, 1970, okay, you see that, okay, 70%, 75% of the income go to labor. Okay, 1 minus alpha equal to 0.75. So it means that alpha equal to 0.25. Okay, 1970, 75% of the income for the whole country go to labor. Only 25% go to capital. However, over times, the number become reducing. 2010, it's become only reducing to 0.65. In 2010, 1 minus alpha equal to 0.65. 65% of the total income in the US go to labor. Alpha equal to 0.35. 35% is increasing over time from 25 to 35. 35% of the total income in US go to capital. See that? Because over time, in the last 50 years, from 1970 to right now, 2022, okay, machine, capital become more productivity, okay, become more productivity. You can see that they use a lot of robot, they use a lot of machine in a factory, right? They don't need a high number of labor anymore, okay? So that's good. So it's reflect in the number here in the graph, okay? That's it. Done. Okay, done. Come back, okay, to the GDP. GDP, we focus a lot in macro. We're using variable Y. Variable Y have many meaning. The first one is total output. And then you have equation Y equal to function of K and L. This one, done. Second meaning, okay, Y as a total income. You have the equation Y equal to WL plus RK. Done. Now we go to the third meaning of Y. Okay, total spending. Okay, this is we're gonna focus now. Okay, total spending. Okay, total spending. So first, we assume that we stay in the closed economy. Okay, we assume that we stay in a closed economy. So it means that no export, no import. Okay. So we're going to focus on total spending. In the economy, we're going to have three main parts, three main sector, let's say. Sector number one is going to be household sector. Okay, household sector. Yeah, okay. When household sector spending the money, we call C for the consumption. Okay, the second one, okay, is gonna be business sector. When business sector spending the money, we call I as investment. It's gonna be government sector. Okay, government sector, we're gonna use G for the government spending. So keep in mind that when the government spending the money, we call it, we have a name, okay? We're gonna call it as a fiscal policy, okay? So fiscal policy is gonna be the policy that the government, okay, try to manage their budget, okay? Manage their public budget, okay? So the public, so the fiscal policy is gonna be the story about how the government gonna spending the money. Okay? Together, the total spending in the closed economy come from consumption, investment, and government spending. We have this equation. Y equal to C plus I plus G. Okay. We're gonna talk about open economy later on in the next chapter. In this chapter, we focus on closed economy first to make it easy. Okay. So for the closed economy, total spending Y equal to the spending of household sector, which is consumption, the spending of business sector, which is investment, and the spending of government, which is going to be G. Okay, Y equal to C plus I plus G. That's it. So let's start with number one. Okay, C. Okay, number one, C. C stand for consumption. And of course, consumption is about the story of household sector, HH. Consumption equation is going to be look like this. C equal to A plus B Y D. This is consumption equation, okay? YD is disposable income, okay? Which means your income after paying tax. Be careful about whatever Y. As I told you before, Y have many meanings. In this case, Y means income. Okay. You're working for the whole month, you got your money, okay, your salary, okay, you pay tax, okay, your money that you earn after you paying tax, that is the money that you can spend, okay. So disposable income is the number of money that you actually spend after paying tax. So that is YD. How about the other variable in the equation? How about A? What is the meaning of A? Okay. A come from if YD equal to 0, okay, C is gonna be equal to A. You see that from the main equation. From the main equation, if YD equal to 0, if you don't have any money, okay, if you don't have any money, you need to consume something. You need to eat something. Okay, C consumption equal to A. So A is the minimum money that you need in order to survive, even though you don't have any income. Okay, so A is a minimum number of money that you need, even though you don't have any income. Okay, you need that money in order to survive, to buy some water, instant noodle. Okay, this is A. Okay, the minimum money that you need in order to survive when you don't have a job, you don't have the money, you don't have an income. Next thing is going to be B, the variable B. The variable B come from, okay, delta C over delta YD, or in calculus is a partial derivative of C over YD. You're going to get B. Again, in mathematics, delta is mean changing. In this case, delta C over delta YD is mean that when YD change, how C going to change. If you have more income, how you going to eat more. If you have more income, how you going to consume more. Okay, this one is going to show on the variable B. And variable B, they have the name, they call it as a MPC. Marginal propensity to consume. Okay, this is the variable B, okay, as an MPC. That's it. To make you more understand, okay, I need to give you some real number. Okay, here in the table, okay, real number in the table. From the consumption equation, C equal to A plus B YD that we learned before. If I have the number in the table like this, let's find out how the equation gonna look like. Starting with the first row, if you don't have any money, if you don't have any money, YD equal to 0. You need to consumption equal to 100. You see that? If you don't have any money, you need to spend 100 baht in order to survive. So now I know A equal to 100. You don't have any money, you need to consume equal to 100. Now I know A equal to 100. Every times when you have more money, every time when you have more income, for example, from 0 to 100, you have 100 more on your income, you're going to consume more for 80. When you have more income from 100 to 200, okay, you're going to eat more, 80. See that? When you have more income from 1,000 to 2,000, you're going to consume more for 800. You have 1,000 more on your income, you're going to eat more, 800. You see that? So here I can find B. B from the formula equal to delta C over delta YD. Okay. 100. No. Okay. When you have 100 more on your income, wait. You consume more for 80. When you have more, okay, 1,000 on your income, you consume more for 800. Together is equal to 0.8, same number. So now I know that B equal to 0.8. 0.8 means when your income increasing 100%, you're gonna consume more, 80%. You got it? Okay. So the variable B always in the range of 0 and 1 because this is a percentage. 1 like a 100%, 0 is like 0%. This is how it's come from. So far so good. Okay. Next one, I'm gonna introduce the other equation. Okay. YD, your income, disposable income equal to consumption plus saving. Now I show you how saving comes from. S is come from saving. For example, you have a salary. I have the question. Wait a minute. What is YD stand for? Yeah, I just told you. Wait a minute. Here, I told you here. YD is a disposable income. Okay, YD is your income after paying tax. Okay, YD equal to Y minus T. You got it? Okay. So YD is your income. You're working for the whole month. You got salary. However, you cannot you cannot use all of your salary because you need to pay tax first. So YD is your income after paying tax. Okay, good. So come back here. Okay, YD equal to C plus S. Okay. For example, your salary after paying tax is 25,000. You consume it, you spending it for consumption for 20,000. So what does it mean? You have 5,000 left. So 5,000 is going to go to saving. You got it? Or the other example, your income after paying tax 25,000. However, this time you're spending a lot, spending too much. You're spending 30,000. So what does it mean? You have 25,000, you're spending 30,000, your money is not enough. You need to borrow someone. Your saving become negative. If your saving become negative, it means you need to borrow someone. You got it? Saving can be positive and negative. Negative saving is mean borrowing. So that's so good. Okay. Next one, I'm gonna use this equation. YD equal to C plus S. And as you know, C equal to A plus B YD. I put it down here. Then I'm gonna get YD equal to A plus BYD plus S. Rearranging the equation, I got YD minus A minus BYD equal to S. Minus A plus YD minus BYD equal to S. Minus A, I can take YD out of the bracket. I got 1 minus B, wait. I got minus A plus 1 minus B YD equal to S. Now I got saving equation. So for here, now I have, before I have consumption equation, C equal to A plus B YD. And now I have saving equation. Saving equation is going to be minus A plus 1 minus B YD. Okay. This is how I derive for the saving equation. Okay. So let's give you some number in order to more understand. Okay. Consumption equation, C equal to A plus BYD. Saving equation equal to minus A plus 1 minus BYD. For example, if I give you the number C equal to 100 plus 0.8 YD, S is going to be, okay, if A equal to 100, S equal to minus A, this one equal to minus 100. If B equal to 0.8, in the saving equation is 1 minus B, is become 0.2. You got that? Focus on A and minus A first. What is the meaning of A? The meaning of A is if you don't have any money, you need to spend 100 baht, okay, for consumption in order to survive. If you spend 100 baht, but you don't have money, what does it mean? You need to borrow someone the money. That's why saving starting with minus 100. C starting with 100. S starting with minus 100. Okay, the meaning is related to each other. Okay, 100 in C is mean that you don't have any money, you need 100 baht in order to survive. Okay, minus 100 in S is mean that you don't have money, but you need to spend 100. So how you gonna do? You need to borrow someone. Okay. For the pink area, B equal to 0.8, 1 minus B equal to 0.2. What does it mean? Okay, here, this guy, remember, is MPC, marginal propensity to consume. This one is mean that when you have more income, when your income increasing 100%, you're gonna use it for consumption for 80%. How about 0.2? 0.2 is MPS, marginal, okay, propensity to saving. When your income increasing for 100%, you're gonna save more for 20%. Okay. So MPC and MPS together, okay, always equal to 1. For example, this case, 0.8 minus 0.2 equal to 1. Always equal to 1 because it has to be always equal to 100%. Okay, so that's good. Okay, let's go to the table with a real number to make you more understanding. Okay, I have a table like this. I need to fill up in the equation of consumption. C equal to A plus BYD. S equal to minus A plus 1 minus B YD. Okay. Okay, starting with the table first. Okay. If you don't have any money, YD equal to 0. You need to spend 100 baht for consumption in order to survive. This is the meaning of A. If you don't have any money, you need to spend 100 baht. Okay? You don't have any money, but you need to spend 100 baht. What does it mean? You need to borrow someone. You see that? This is minus A. So now I know that C equal to 100, S equal to minus 100. Simple. Next one. When you have 100 more in income from 0 to 100, you consume more for 80. When you have more income for 100, you consume more for 80. When you have more income for 1,000, you consume more for 800. You have more income for 1,000, you consume more for 80. This one you can calculating for B. B equal to MPC equal to delta C over delta Y. In this case, okay, you have more income for 100, you consume more for 80, or you have more income for 1,000, you consume more for 800. Together equal to 0.8. You got B. Okay. Now I can write it down. This is plus 0.8 YD. How about MPS or 1 minus B? MPS or 1 minus B equal to delta S over delta Y. Okay. When you have more income for 100, okay, you borrow less from minus 100 to minus 80. You borrow less. Okay, you have less debt. So it's like you save more. Okay. This one also plus 20. You borrow less. When you have more income from 1,000 to 2,000, you save more for 200. When you have income increasing from 2,000 to 3,000, you save more for 200. So then delta Y, okay, 100, you borrow less for 20. If your income increasing for 1,000, you save more for 200. Together equal to 0.2. So you can write down here 0.2 YD. Okay. So far so good. Okay. So with the number of the table, you can easily find the equation of the consumption and the equation of the saving easily. Okay. Okay, last one for today. We're gonna construct the graph. Okay. The graph of consumption C equal to A plus BYD. For example, we give you the number C equal to 100 plus 0.8 YD. The graph is gonna be look like this. On the horizontal, it's gonna be YD. On the vertical, it's gonna be C. The graph is gonna be look like this, going up like this. Always have a positive slope. It is C equal to A plus BYD. The starting point here, equal to A. Because at the starting point, what does it mean? At the starting point means, okay, YD equal to 0. If YD equal to 0, C is going to be equal to A, or in this case, it's 100. This is a starting point, okay? A equal to 100. The next one is, you will see that the graph is going up to the right. It means that the more YD you have, the more consumption you're gonna spend. Okay, the more money you're going to spend on consumption. The slope of this curve equal to B. Okay, don't be forget that the slope of anything equal to delta vertical over delta horizontal. In this case, vertical is C, horizontal is YD. So that's why the slope equal to B. Okay. So the graph of the consumption is going to be steep or flat, depend on the value of B or MPC. In this case, 0.8. Okay, so that's so good. So that's it. This is all for today. Any question? In the exam, okay, the equation that I teach you in the exam, I give you nothing. So you need to understand the equation. Okay, you need to write down by yourself. I don't give you, okay, I give you nothing in the exam. So you need to understand, and you have to be able to write it down by yourself, every equation. Okay, so that's so good. Any question here? Okay, so no question. So everything done. See you again on Thursday. Bye bye.